Ladies and gentlemen, actually everybody on the internet, everybody who enjoys video games, plays video games, fondles video games, and looks at video games. My name is JT. I am coming to you directly here on OBS and Discord, getting ready for the first Monday Night Mayhem of 2026. It's been a fun time. Tonight, we're continuing our games of the decade. So if you watch this video, you're going to get, two different intros, of course. But, we're just here to do things and for your enjoyment. So enjoy the video, like the video, subscribe to the video or the channel, comment on the video, share it with your friends, your grandma, your niece, your nephew, your uncle, your pastor, your savior, and your, delivery drivers. We're going to continue our top 10 games of the decade so far. That means from 2020 to 2025. And then we'll revisit this in 2030 if we are still here. And, the aliens or the orange man doesn't blow us all up. But that is a topic for another day. Tonight, we are going to have some fun. And by fun, I mean our last 4 games that we've enjoyed so far. Let's kick things off. We will bring back Zordon's Outlet on the next episode of Monday Night Mayhem. So on this episode, you just get to, not hear questions from the community, but just hear our voices chat over things that we like and things that we want to continue to play as time goes forward. This is a way too long intro. Strap into those ergonomic gaming chairs, grab some diet root beer, some bananas, and maybe some diet chips, and prepare for liftoff on this week's episode of Monday Night Mayhem. Game on, everybody. Fellas, let's just kick this shit off. It's 2026. I'm feeling really good about this year. You can ask me why later, but I just, gut feeling, I guess. I just feel good right now. I had sushi last night. It may or may not have fucked my stomach up. But you know what? We're alive, baby. Number four on my list is Monster Hunter Rise plus Sunbreak. And as a fan of this series, a current fan, Monster Hunter Rise was the game that really got me into the Monster Hunter franchise. That and Stories. Because Stories is just an amazing RPG, but Monster Hunter Rise is an amazing monster hunting game. And ever since playing both of this game and the expansion, I've just been craving more Monster Hunter. I picked up Generations. I went back to it. I played probably about 40 hours of it. I would love to play 40 hours more, but I just don't have that time right now. I'm ready for Monster Hunter Wilds to come to the Switch too. All the data mines suggest that it's coming. But, every once in a while, I'm like, I just got to go just hunt some giant beasts. And like Carson says, just bash a monster in the face with a shield and then hit it with a sword. And it's the most fun time you will have in a while. And Carson's absolutely right about that. Because they call me, Longsword Poppy for a reason. And it's because my favorite weapon in Monster Hunter Rise is the longsword. There's just something about hitting a wire bug, doing some Spider-Man shit, and then crashing down on a monster with this ginormous sword that is bigger than my hopes and dreams. Monster Hunter Rise plus Sunbreak is number 4 on my list.
Dude, that's a good pick. That game is so solid. It's kind of sad to think about what we missed out on Wilds with that one, because the wall running shit and the tricks you can pull by just flying around through the air and then doing 3 dodges in it and then doing a backflip to nail somebody into the ground. I'm gonna miss that.
Yeah. They don't have the wire bug in Wilds, do they?
I think it's the fucking grappling hook extension thing again. I don't remember because I have not played enough of the demo to see, but it's not. If they have a mechanic that's like it, I can't remember if they do or don't. It's not nearly as extensive as it was in that game.
Yeah, and man, I think I'm probably gonna honestly go play some Monster Hunter tonight. Because just sitting here thinking about it and talking about it. And Rise had a resurgence because a lot of people are unhappy about Wilds. But I think Wilds is about to get its comeuppance here pretty soon. man, like that was the game that really like brought me out of one of the darkest like moments of my life after like getting out of the hospital and having my colon removed. And then within a couple of weeks, hey, you're going to be out of work for a while, but here's this brand new Monster Hunter game that you can dive into. And I'm like, well, I don't have shit else to do. Just try to recover at this point. So I might as well pick this up. So I, dabbled in it, and then I just enjoyed it and loved it. And there was a lot of sleepless nights where I'm just playing Monster Hunter Rise at that point. And it was just, I was having so much fun playing this game and trying to collect different skins for my character and different weapons to like create. And I think that's where a lot of the enjoyment was. And the charming thing about that game is the cats cook your dinner. And I'm just like, well, this is another reason to like cats, because this is absolutely a cat thing. They definitely are going to cook you some dango. Um, so yeah, man, I'm probably going to be booting that up while we discuss things on this here show. All right, Mr. Bretsky, time for you to game on and give us your number 4.
Oh, fuck. We're gaming on. All right. Number 4 is Wavetail. This is a little, I think, little indie title. Very much stylistically, very much reminiscent of like, I guess like Wind Waker. And then there's another kind of style. I just can't quite think of a good comparison, but it has almost like this colored pencil kind of vibe to it, where like the models are like static, but all the like the facial animations are all just like, they almost look like crayon scribbled on and stuff like that. It's a really charming little look. Very, very straightforward, simple mechanics. You got an attack, you got a jump, and then you got this, the main like gimmick of the game is this surfing mechanic, which is fun as fuck. Like I could just like do that for an hour to 2, just surfing from one island to the next. Story wise, pretty simple, again, but a really cool little eco warrior narrative that I'm all about, but I also express or would like to share with people, both around my age and peers, or even younger, because it definitely feels like it's aimed at a younger audience. But it's got some really good messages in that way, for people to just kind of dive into. But yeah, I just really liked it. Overall, a really good package. Again, very cute, very whimsical, but still kind of tugs at your heartstrings pretty well. Like, I immediately recommended it to my niece, who is 8, and she's like really getting into just playing games on her own, not just watching her dad or like having the assist from her dad or whatever. So yeah, I would say go and check it out. Fun little game.
That's a game that I picked up based on your recommendation that I still need to play.
It is good, man. And you can finish it real quick. Like, I don't think it was more than 20 hours.
Okay.
Probably shorter than that. Yeah.
Perfect amount of time. I will probably sit through that before FF7 Remake drops next week and play that. After I go through this, I'm probably going to play 100 hours of Monster Hunter at this point again. Mr. Zach.
There you go.
Yeah, man. So number 4 for me, on time alone, it has to be Helldivers 2. That game is unbelievably good in so many ridiculous ways. I always kind of like my good like shooter PvE experiences, but from like the satire to the way that like live service got managed to the way that the game is just generally designed with its like factions, its weapon design philosophy, its art style. Like, it just hits every note so goddamn well. Like, that game is gonna probably continue to grow on like game of the decade lists for me because of just the way that that game has already continued to get padded out more and more. It's had its hiccups and ups and downs, but like the core gameplay experience has like never been ruined by any of the annoying controversies that Helldivers has had over its like current lifespan. Like, my favorite thing about that game is just the way that it like handles in-world events. Like the community-driven events that cause people to go jump back in as its live service, and it gives you giant like major orders of like, look, everybody's got to go conquer this planet and get these materials or beat this boss of these objectives, and then that has impacts on the overall story as if it's playing out like some giant D&D game is unbelievably fucking cool. There's already been some insane moments that are just going to go down in the game's like history that the community got to play through together. And those made major impacts and choices. Like the biggest one was when Super Earth, like the world that everybody like comes from, got attacked by aliens. There was a genuine chance that we were going to lose. There was like up to the wire, we were about to lose like the home world. And Arrowhead, the game developers, because this is genuinely like a dynamic living world that plays out like a D&D game, had on one hand, this is what's going to happen if you win, and this is what's going to happen if you lose. And we came down to like a 2% difference on like whether or not we fucking just changed the entire world together because everyone failed so hard to fight back the enemy. And like, it's just great. Like, there's just going to be so much that comes out of it. I wish more games would look at Helldivers as an example of like how to treat a live service and how to like give people more interesting things to do and how to like genuinely foster a community and just to design a really fucking insanely funny like satired video game that's like fun as fuck to play. Like, the one thing that I guess my favorite thing about this, like favorite over the community aspect, is the actual design of damage itself in this game, where like there's no damage numbers, it's not an RPG, you're not going to see like 2,000 pop above somebody's head because you shot them in the face in like giant red text or something. It's all like trying to get you to understand that there are rules of the world and like these types of weapons do this kind of like penetration damage, and by shooting somebody in the shoulder with like light penetration damage, it just bounces off and ricochets, but if you get heavy enough, you start to see sparks fly in ways that matter. So you like learn that you have impact on the world, and you get to look like a crazy fucking badass while you're doing the whole thing. Also, in the back of your head, realizing like, oh, this is kind of fucked up. Like, we're the bad guys, actually. There's no good guys in the Helldivers universe. Everybody kind of sucks for their own weird reasons. And like, that's just funny. Like, the game just so good, dude. It deserves everything that it gets. And I hope that it continues to have a weird long history, because fuck, there's just nothing quite like Helldivers out there, and it really did change a lot of things for the way that live service works. So number 4 to Helldivers.
Nice. All right, Carson. You're
so as a reminder for people at home, in case you forgot, because I nearly did, I misunderstood the assignment and I thought it was one game from the last 10 years or some shit like that. I don't know. Anyway, I only did one game for the last 10 decades, or last 10 years over the last decade. Aww. Whatever. JT worded it really fucking weird. It's all his fault. So that means that these aren't in any particular order. It's just for the year that I put them down for. And for this year, I put down, since it's number 4 for everybody else, this is 2002 for me. Again, I sometimes these aren't the best game. It's just my most favorite game that I played that year, just to reiterate. So in 2022, that would be, as some others have already said, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. And admittedly, a lot of that has to do with the fact of how I played it and with whom I played it, which was a deal in the long forgotten year of 2002. Xbox Game Pass was actually considered a really good deal and something that you should have. And when Shredder's Revenge came out, I took it and I played about 10 seconds of it, and then I thought, I bet my wife could play this. I bet my wife might like this. So I grabbed a controller and I said, hey, you want to play a video game with me? And she said, I sure fucking do. And so she came over and we started playing it, and it's a short game. So we just sat there and beat the whole fucking thing in like 3 or 4 hours and had a really big time doing it. And even though my wife and I both play a lot of video games, we don't play a lot of video games together. And that's one of the very few that we did. And that kind of holds a little special place for me. It is just a lot of fun as far as like multiplayer goes. Straightforward beat 'em up. Some great music by T. Lopes. Excellent sprite work. It actually does way more of the like fan servicey bits that you would have kind of expected from the older arcade games, but in a good way. And also you can play as both April O'Neil and Casey Jones. So that's a big fucking plus.
Yeah. Shredder's Revenge is fucking awesome. I actually played my playthrough of that game with Mr. Alexander. And we finished that shit in like a couple of hours, I want to say. Great fucking game. Anybody interested in Marvel Cosmic Invasion? Because I know they made that game too, right?
I believe so. I'm going to be honest with you. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is kind of the only one that I give even the slightest shit about. The Power Rangers one looked kind of neat.
Heard it,
but I don't really have a whole lot of like affinity for Power Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just kind of like, And then after that, I think there's like a Toxic Avengers one coming out, which I don't really give a shit about that either. Like, there's a lot of these retro revival beat 'em ups that have been coming out with IPs in the wake of Shredder's Revenge, and I'll be honest, even the Marvel one, even though it's the exact same people, I just don't care.
Yeah,
but also
everybody's
too,
like
you couldn't fucking pay me to give a shit about Marvel anymore.
Yeah,
like post 2018, I've been totally out, and I don't fucking care. I'm burnt the fuck out on Marvel for like ever.
Endgame was the end game for a lot of us. I definitely get it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good. I don't care that you're bringing back Steve Rogers. I don't give a fuck that you're bringing back Robert Downey Jr. as a totally different character. Like, I don't care. I'm not coming. Don't save me a seat. I won't be there. Leave me alone.
Yeah. All right. Well, number 3 for me is Super Mario Brothers Wonder. I
wonder why.
So, Mario Brothers Wonder. Honestly, like it could have been one of those games where it could have easily like been number 1 had another 2 games not been available at the time that they were available. But Mario Brothers Wonder, I feel like it's one of the greatest 2D Mario games that I've played personally. I know a lot of people will probably like get upset about that, but if I like went down the list of the 2D Mario games that I've played, a lot of people would also be upset about that as well, because I haven't played a whole lot of them. But I think this game just does the Mario 2D formula to the absolute fucking max. And the colors that you see on the screen, it's a trippy experience. I love when video games can just be video games. And what I mean by that is just look at everything that it's doing and say, hey, we're just here to have a good time. We're not going to take shit too seriously. You are really just going to sink in and enjoy your playthrough of this. And that's exactly what that game did. I didn't play a whole lot of multiplayer in that game because it's honestly like a very short experience as well. You can do the multiplayer with friends, but you can honestly like sit through that game and easily just breeze through 11 hours and complete the whole fucking game. but there's so much left that you can go back and enjoy because of the replay value of it. It's just a great fucking time. Like when you unlock all the different like icons, I think is what it's called. I haven't played it in a little while, but like the cape that allows you to just like go from screen to screen, or like the super jump, like unlocking stuff like that does take a little bit more time. And when you actually get those abilities, it just makes the game even grander. And I am really excited for the expansion that's going to be coming, because I don't know if Nintendo knew that they did this, but they actually leaked 2 other characters that are going to be in the expansion. One of those being Rosalina, and everybody loves Tall Goddess Mommy. So I'm here for it. I think it's called Meetup in Rosemary Park. Hold on, that's not right. Bella Park. Yeah, Super Mario Brothers Wonder plus Meetup in Bella Park. Nintendo Switch 2 edition is a mouthful of a title. But honestly, one of the greatest fucking 2D games that you guys could probably like jump into right now at any given moment in time. If you have not played it, I don't know why you haven't played it. Maybe you just don't have a Switch. This is the type of game that you should have a Switch for. That was my number 3. Number 3, pick number 3, my lord. Bretsky, pick number 3.
I was on mute, but I'm fucking
3.
dying, bro.
Number 3, my lord.
Oh, fuck. All right. Number 3. Oh, dude, this is fantastic. What a great segue. It's JT's favorite game, Sonic Frontiers.
Oh, God.
Number 3. Let's fucking go, JT, you fucking wiener. No, I'm joking.
You've been hanging out with me too much. Fuck.
Yeah, right, really. No, man. What can I say, dude? I fucking enjoyed this game. I haven't fucking paid any attention to Sonic the Hedgehog since fucking what? Sonic Heroes, maybe? So there's a long time when I just did not pay attention to that motherfucker other than like revisit the old games. And then when my cousin got the chance to work on Sonic Mania, I was like, all right, this is pretty fucking cool. But even that was, you know, a little bit before Frontiers, and I didn't really consider. I just considered it old Sonic again. You know, it was just an idealized version of classic Sonic formula. Obviously, you know, they did a lot of work on it. They perfected the retro engine. They created some new levels, all this cool fucking shit, and it was one of the best Sonic games of all time. No questions asked. When it came to 3D Sonic, though, completely in the dark. Had no idea what was going on, if people even liked it, or if it purely lived on in meme status. And I don't know what it was, man. Something fucking intrigued me about this title. And I think maybe it was also just like the hype of the movies coming out too, and just all this stuff. And I was like, you know what, fuck it. Let's give this guy a shot again. And I went into it. And it's funny because I know like the whole ancient technology, open world kind of thing, it very much is borrowing from the newer Zelda titles, Breath of the Wild, and what was the other one?
Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, thank you. And I could not get into those games whatsoever, but complete opposite with this one. I love the overworld. Definitely a little bit more linear though. Like there is the freedom concept is not really all that there if you really kind of like strip it away, as opposed to where, you know, the Zelda game, I didn't do this, but I know people would tell me, oh yeah, you could literally just go to Ganondorf right off the bat if you really wanted to. It's gonna suck, but you can do it. And with Sonic, with Frontiers, it is definitely more linear. It feels like it's open, but at the end of the day, yeah, it's like you got to get the emeralds, you go to the boss, you do the thing, blah blah blah. But I don't know, man. I played this game and I enjoyed it. And even the cyberspace stuff, I was like, oh, fucking, how many times do I have to see a variation of Chemical Plant and Green Hill and just random ass open cyberspace shit? I kind of could overlook it because the music was fucking, just got me, man. That music hooked me really, really fucking good. In all aspects, like the overworld music with its kind of cool, open Brian Eno and world music, ambient kind of chill vibes, to the kind of glitchy techno EDM stylings of the cyberspace tracks, to whatever the fuck that hype ass music for the boss was. This fucking like screamo shit. Like, I don't even like that kind of music, but I was like, I don't know what's going on in my body right now, but I am fucking here for it. It was super fun, and it also, like, I don't know, now I have like a really fun nostalgic window with the game too, because I bought it like right before I visited Carson. And I came and visited you for the first time, JT. We went to Denver, and just like playing the game on the airplane and hanging out with you guys and kind of talking to y'all about it and how much you said it was trash, and and Justice enjoyed it but had his qualms too, and I'm just like, man, fuck you guys, I'm having a blast. So all that shit was super fun, and I don't know, I have good vibes and good memories from it. And I haven't had that kind of connection to a Sonic game since Sonic Adventure 2, for real. So yeah, for that reason, it's number 3.
Yeah, I'm real happy that made it to your list. And it's not that I hate the game, because there are moments in the game, like you said, the boss music is fucking phenomenal. Some of the best video game boss music of all time, in my opinion. It's just controlling Sonic in some of those, like, cyberspace levels, and on one of the islands just really did not do it for me. So I'm real curious, because they're going to get another shot at a sequel, and I'm real curious to see like what they are able to come up with and what they do. And I'm pretty sure they're going to fucking get me day one for that one too, like they do with every fucking Sonic 3D game. And I'll either be upset again or I'll be really fucking happy. If they go the direction that Shadow went with how he controlled and the 5 stages that we got in that game, perfect. Couldn't ask for anything better, because I feel like that is the best 3D Sonic controlling game of all time. Now I know like there's stuff that needs to be improved from that as well, but let's see what they can do with actual Sonic and Sonic Frontiers 2. Hopefully we get an announcement soon. I'm pleading for an announcement soon, actually, because I want to see it.
Same.
All right, Zach. Hit us.
Number 3. My number 3 is Star Wars Jedi Survivor, because, wow. I had to put a Star Wars game on the list somewhere. It just needed to go down that way because I'm too much of a fan. I have a fucking Mandalorian helmet behind me. There's a goddamn AT-ST above my left head. So, like, had it happen, man. I fucking love that series, and one of the best, if not the best, Star Wars video game of, like, all time finally came out within the last, like, 5 years. Because holy shit, I can't believe how good that game is, from story to exploration, combat, setting. It like properly revives Star Wars way better than the sequel trilogy like ever did. It's unbelievable how good that game is. Like, there are some times when you get that like direct sequel that like genuinely does everything better, and sometimes that sequel falls off a cliff and that's the end of the whole franchise. This is that moment when that sequel genuinely tops the first game in the series in like every way possible. And the story to me is like the biggest part that blows my mind. Like, so I'm not going to say that it's a better story than Knights of the Old Republic in terms of Star Wars video games, because genuinely I think that's incredibly hard to beat considering how good that game is at everything that it's doing. But Jedi Survivor is like bringing it back. Like, Fallen Order was really good, did a great job reviving Star Wars gaming in a single player sense and being like the best Star Wars game to come out in a single player world setting in a long time. Survivor just tops that completely. Like, you can make the argument that Fallen Order is just like a Dark Soulsy kind of like reskin. Definitely feels that way. Jedi Survivor definitely feels like its own thing as it's starting to mash a lot more stuff together. And it just improves on everything that first game does. Like I've said like 9 times now. It's fantastic. The Star Wars game of a generation. I hope that the third game in that series continues delivering everywhere it does. Jedi Survivor has some fantastic story beats and jaw-dropping moments, not even in the set pieces, but the characters are awesome. I love the way that everybody's written. There's always a moment where you're just like, I can't believe they fucking did that. And it's just brutal to like play that game and then realize that it's doing the story of Star Wars more justice as a follow-up to George Lucas's world than the fucking sequel trilogy did, because it's coherent and the characters are complex and they're deep. They have fucking wants and desires and fears, and they struggle, they fuck up, and they conquer. It's awesome. It's fucking heart-wrenching in all these crazy ways. Your fucking guts will be ripped out, and then they will be put back into place, and you'll pick up a lightsaber and you'll keep killing fucking stormtroopers. It rules. So if you've like Star Wars gaming at all, like, you have to play fucking Fallen Order just so you can get the story set up, and then play Jedi Survivor and just go like, holy shit, you're doing what now? And then go from there. Like, it does do a great job at continuing that like old school Star Wars legacy and actually like bringing it to the modern day and not fucking everything up in the process. Albeit, the one thing that it does not have really going for it is the performance was not good at launch, but it's had like 9 or 10 patches since that happened. And now it runs pretty decently. It's not as good as it should be, but it is still better than where it was. So, yeah, you want a good Star Wars game that's like genuinely a story that is worth your time, like Jedi Survivor. That's the one.
Hell yeah. I have a question for you.
Yes.
As somebody who has played a lot of Star Wars games as well, and as somebody who was a fan of The Force Unleashed, the first one, how would you rank this game compared to that complete edition of The Force Unleashed?
That's a good question. In terms of combat, Jedi Survivor does not deliver on the same level of power creep that The Force Unleashed does. Like, you're not gonna fucking take a Star Destroyer and smack it into the ground or cut an entire AT Walker in half. Yeah, you're not gonna do that because the canon has decided that's too insane. So that's why Disney ditched that one in the past. But the combat sandbox is so fucking creative by the time you're like done unlocking everything that you're like picking dudes up, throwing them into other people, grabbing another guy, stabbing him with a lightsaber, throwing him into other people, pulling a bunch of dudes up into the air, throwing a fucking like lightsaber throw so it cuts in between everybody. Like, the combos and creativity that you can do to like deal damage against your opponents is awesome. And then my favorite part about it is once you beat the game, there's something called Purity Mode where everybody dies in one hit, and so do you. So lightsabers and weapons are just as lethal as they're supposed to be. And it's like, if you go watch some like speed runs online of how people handle this stuff, because they did smartly design enemies in the game, they will adapt to your combat prowess and like understand, oh, you're using these abilities, well then you need to do this type of technique to like deal open a like whatever situation this is. And like, guy's got a shield, rip the shield off, throw it in that guy's got a thing, you need to fucking smack this and then pull that over and now he's got a weak point available. And like, it's just nuts, the combinations that people come up with. And it's so fucking satisfying to like see a combat puzzle go, oh, there's like these enemy types here, I'm gonna do this, 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 and this, and this, and you're just gonna like rip through piles of enemies. And it's not easy to do that kind of thing. Like, you have to kind of get a little creative with what you're gonna pick. So just for that alone, I actually think Jedi Survivor is a better game, because I've gone back and I've played The Force Unleashed since then, And like it's really fun. The power fantasy is really entertaining. Like being able to force push somebody and not just like force push them, but like everyone around them, like to like miles off into the distance to where that guy's just gone. He's not coming back. That's fun, but the depth of the combat sandbox in the Force Unleashed is pretty shallow compared to Jedi Survivor, where you just have ridiculous number of options to how to handle a situation, and sometimes you don't have as many options as you think, and the game is really fucking challenging. It really makes you try to understand what's in front of you and what's the best way to tackle a situation, and you don't really get that out of the Force Unleashed. Most of the time, I spent like 90% of my game, like time playing the Force Unleashed for the first time, just force pushing the shit out of people, just because it was so entertaining watching them ragdoll off of other stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Jedi Survivor wins that one, dude. It's just nuts. You got to play it for yourself if you've got the chance. It's definitely like it's a lot more there than I thought there would be.
Yeah, the little bit I played of Fallen Order, I really enjoyed, but Game Pass ended, and I was not about to re-up. So I was like, well, I'll just wait around for the chance that, you know, this could become cheaper on another platform. And, you know, little birds are chirping, saying that that day might be on the horizon here soon.
So the last thing I got to say about it, though, before we move on to the next person, props to Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor being the like only Metroidvania series that I'm aware of that doesn't delete all of your old abilities when you play the sequel. Like Jedi Survivor somehow manages to give you all of the shit that you unlocked at the end of Fallen Order and just go, and we're going to keep building on top of this, and we're not going to fucking reset you to ground zero. So you just get to fucking start that sandbox and just keep running. And it's fucking crazy the places you get to that I really don't know how they're going to top it in a third game. Because like there's no buttons left for me to press. They used up everything by the end of Survivor. So like how the hell you have to reset me? I have no idea how you fucking just keep building on top of this character. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, and like we should be getting an announcement for a third game. I'm thinking pretty soon, because when did Survivor come out? Was that 2023?
Yeah, it's 2021 or 2022, or maybe it was 2023.
Shit. Oh, okay.
Dude, my timeline is all jacked up, but it's been a minute. Let me look.
Yeah, because I know Fallen Order, I think, came out.
Yeah, game released in
before
2023, so it must have been a 2021 announcement.
Damn.
But yeah, any day now, honestly, probably this year.
Yeah, it's gotta be coming soon. I know that they've been working on it, and they've been talking a little bit about closing out the trilogy in a big way. So that'll be cool to see. And the voice actor, the guy who plays Cal, I know he recently had an interview saying that he's hoping that it gets announced soon. So, all right, what do you think they call
It's gotta happen. I don't know. I honestly kind of think that there's a good chance that this could be like Star Wars Sith or something instead of doing Star Wars Jedi something, because there's some pretty, and I don't want to spoil it, but there's some pretty insane fucking things that happen at the end of the second game that make you start to really question people's morality, and you're like, I think that somebody's gonna fucking switch, or we're gonna have to get a new perspective, because this is getting pretty fucked up. The way some people are acting right now. Yeah. So it gets interesting, man. They really could do like a Star Wars Sith, and then that's the third game. Or it's fucking like Legacy, or I don't know. It's a good spot. I don't want to talk about it more without giving away dead up like story details.
Got it. All right. Well, I'll be here for it when I finally get the chance to play it through the first and the second game. Carson, Brett, any of you guys interested in Star Wars at all? Like, I know that there's been interest in the Star Wars IP, but Star Wars video games.
I have played Force Unleashed. I was a very big fan of the Rogue Squadron games from back in the day.
Oh, nice. Yeah, man.
I'm trying to really think about what other. I don't think I've gotten too deep into the lore. I just played Shadows of the Empire with my buddy on our other channel. It's an N64 title. It's a pretty jank game, but it was it was fun for us to kind of fuck around with.
You kind of just barely see the cartridge right here for Shadows of the Empire.
Oh, nice! Hell yeah! Hell yeah! Yeah. It's a fucking mess, but it's funny as hell. Honestly, I think my favorite Star Wars game, and this is probably going to sound kind of silly and stupid, but I thought before Episode 3 came on the scene, lightsaber fight mechanics just were all over the place. Truly, I think the first one to do lightsaber mechanics right was the first Lego Star Wars game. It has one of the best, most satisfying. It's really simple, but it really, really works well. Oh, and Episode 1 Pod Racer. Fucking incredible game. Flawless fucking game.
I do know a lot of people
finally
that like
getting a follow-up. Oh, yeah, man. That was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that was one of the games that recently got announced was a sequel to that game, basically.
Yeah, it's pretty much a spiritual successor. Yeah. And they haven't, directly announced pod racing for it yet, but they show Sebulba at the very end of the trailer, so you're gonna not put pod racing in your Star Wars racing game? Come on.
Right,
yeah,
come on. We know. We
give,
know.
Yeah.
Give the people what they want.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
All right, Carson. You're up. 2023 is on the list for you, or number 3.
So with the game that I'm nominating, just to give you an idea of why it's on here, and the moment I realized I was playing something really fucking special, is I was in a cave with a bunch of slave characters that I could have the option to save or keep there, or kill, or whatever. And of course I'm trying to save them. And the captor, I tried talking my way through, and that didn't work. And she decided she wanted to fight me and my little measly party of a team. And we were on a bridge, and this is a turn-based game. And I realized in that moment that the woman that I had made as my character, who I made 6'5" and very muscular and a warrior, that meant she could pick things up, including rocks, carts, or people. And right before this elongated fight was supposed to start, I picked up this warden and threw her off the bridge, and she instantly died. And that's when I went, gee, I think Baldur's Gate 3 is one of the coolest fucking video games I've ever played in my life. Because that's one of thousands upon thousands upon thousands of scenarios that you get into, and what I just described is one of infinite ways to approach that situation. It takes essentially the concept of playing D&D and turns it into a video game, somehow both in a literal sense, but not making it fucking boring, which seems like an impossible task for me. The writing is phenomenal. The way that you very literally shape the world around you with your choices. A lot of games brag on this, and they have for the last 2 decades. But I feel like Baldur's Gate 3 is one of the very, 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 very few to get it right. I still, in all honesty, have not rolled credits on that game because it's so long, and because there's so much to do, and because you're able to save at any given point, which means, hey, great example, I just rolled up on this windmill, There's a dwarf strapped to the windmill, screaming for his life, and a bunch of goblins around him laughing and pointing. There's a lot of ways to approach that situation. My personal favorite is to tell the goblins to fuck off, and they're like, we're not gonna fuck off, and then you give them the stink eye, and they go, you know what, we will fuck off. And then you go to the top of this windmill, and you release the brake entirely so that it spins completely out of control and flings the dwarf into the unknown, and you never see him again. You just hear this and you watch him fly off into the distance, and the narrator says something along the lines of like, that didn't seem to work. And that's it. That's the end of the quest. That's the end of it. That was your choice, you fucking idiot. But if you save him, he gives you a bunch of loot that helps, and you don't even have to tell the goblins to fuck off. You can make them fuck off by killing them. This is all stuff that happens within the first act of this game too. Like, there is so much to Baldur's Gate 3, not just within the content itself, but the inner workings of it. In a lot of ways, yes, there are rules to the game, but within those rules, you're able to do just about anything that your mind can imagine. And it all works. It shouldn't work. This level of ambition is not meant to come together so cohesively, but it does. And it's rare, and it's worth checking out because of that. And I will say, I put probably, I don't know. Let's take a look. I have put, this thing will cooperate for 10 seconds. Since owning it, I've put about 62 hours or so into Baldur's Gate, despite not finishing it. I bring that up because my wonderful wife, who played it on my account, has put something around like 200 or 300 into it, and I think that's across like 2 or 3 different playthroughs, each of which have been pretty vastly different ultimately, because there's just such an open-ended quality to the game, as a D&D campaign is going to have. Because I never have, but I've always been told by dungeon masters that you have to have a level of patience to be a dungeon master, because you can lay out the most obvious, clever, perfect path for your party, and it will be impossible to get them to actually go down that path. They're gonna fucking want to talk to townspeople that you didn't write a single line for or some shit. And the more that you try to get them to do the thing you want, the less likely they will. And somehow this game accounts for fucking all of that. Like, you can go out of your way to try to break it as much as you want, and the game's ready for you to do so. And that's
fucking cool. Yeah.
I love it. Check it out if you haven't already. If you're hearing my voice, there's no fucking chance you have not heard of Baldur's Gate 3. But if you haven't, check out the trailer. I know for 2 of the people that are in here, no, it is not on Switch yet. I don't know if it will come to Switch 2. Possibly is my answer.
We actually got some news that we can report on about that. It does not seem like Hasbro has any interest in bringing it to Switch 2.
Well, I don't think Hasbro's behind that, because I don't think
they own the IP, so they got the
Do
final.
they?
Yeah, they got the final call on that. Larian wants to do it. Hasbro doesn't care. Apparently, there was like a fallout between Hasbro and Larian, so that's why it's not gonna happen at this time.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But for everybody else,
Hasbro making bad choices is kind of par for the course.
yeah, absolutely. Like you were saying, though, like everybody else who has the ability to play this fucking game, give it a go. Because that, like how you described it, and versus how I was approaching it, I always thought it's not a for me type of game, but hearing how you described your like playthrough of it and just the little bits that you were able to dive into makes me want to do some cool shit in that world. That sounds like it'd be a lot of fun.
See, I'm like you. I saw it and went, yeah, that ain't a game for me. And then a buddy got it, shared library. I started playing it, and then I kind of hit a point where I was like, fuck, I just want this for my account now. I don't want to have to like play it on his. And I wound up buying it myself, which not something that typically happens. But it was totally worth it. And it's crazy because I don't know how you could really like advertise this like in your marketing and all, but it's not like other turn-based or even strategy games where it's like, okay, you're in a fight now, so you have a set number of things that you can do. It's like, no, you have the same commands of like jump or pick up or throw or whatever that you do in the outside world that you do in fights. So you can do some really fucking goofy, stupid shit. Like the kind of stuff that you would almost think of if you were playing like actual Dungeons and Dragons and someone's trying to like help you visualize like what's happening within the game, right? Like another example. There's at one point I was in like a tomb area that had a big ass chandelier, you know, of like hot burning coal, right? And there's a bunch of bad guys underneath it. So what the fuck else are we gonna do? We're just gonna have half the party distract them on the floor, and the other half's gonna go up, and they're gonna fucking cut the rope to that chandelier, and hot coal's gonna spill all over the bad guys, and boom, that counts. You win. Like, it's surprising how open-ended it is, and how in most situations you are really only limited to sometimes the terrain, yes, but really your imagination. Like the second it puts you in a dungeon and there's more than like 2 spots for you to run around in, you can come up with some shit. And even when you're forced into a corner, you can come up with some shit.
Damn.
Honestly, JT, as much as you like Fire Emblem and stuff, I think you would really fuck with Baldur's Gate because, respectfully, Fire Emblem... I guess Fire Emblem is more like chess or checkers or something like that, whereas Baldur's Gate is fucking D&D. But I feel like the closest approximation of games that you play, Fire Emblem would kind of be there in terms of like kind of sort of but not really, like with the combat. And Baldur's Gate is just so much more interesting in like everything, every possible way imaginable. Fuck, like last thing, same area, find the big bad guy that's got all these poor little goblins as slaves, and he's really tough and really powerful. So the way that I beat him is I stood by a pit and I waited for him to get close, and then I jumped over him and I fucking super kicked him like Shawn Michaels into this fucking pit. And then he fell down and 2 giant spiders attacked him, which you would think would be the end of the story, except he killed both those giant spiders because he was so fucking powerful. So he then just climbed his way back up to me, but him killing those spiders counted as XP for my character, so I just went ahead and cashed out real quick and buffed my shit, and then I was able to take him no problem. But like, that was all me. That was all just what I happened to do and what happened to occur the time that I played. That's not even like a definitive strategy. This isn't like other games where I could be like, yeah, go to this one exact spot and do this because he's going to do... No. That's the thing. There's so many variables in play that it really captures the essence, so to speak, of a paper and pen RPG that, to me, at least from what I have played, and there may be stuff that has done this sooner. I mean, granted, this is Baldur's Gate 3. Maybe 1 and 2 do this as well and do it quite well. But I've never played a game like that. That it gives you beyond what you could recognize as a set of tools, everything you could possibly think of, and then say, yeah, the worst thing that is going to happen if you try to do this is that it's going to fail. We're not going to tell you it won't work. We're going to let you fucking fail. And I respect that. I respect the fuck out of that. And all of that is just to be talking about the gameplay. That's to say nothing about the visuals. The game looks amazing. The game sounds amazing. The music, the Jesus H. Christ, the voice acting is incredible. The writing is top fucking notch, if not a little, well, it goes a little kinky in there sometimes, I'm telling you. Just everything about Baldur's Gate 3, frankly. It's, to me, what I would like to see, not every time, but like if I were to think of like a AAA video game, that's it right there. Where you have a product that is solid, rock fucking solid, not full of glitches, not shit you have to overlook, excellent writing, excellent graphics, that actually lives up to that moniker and is able to do something that the rest aren't. And that last bit, it's where most quote-unquote AAA games fail, because we're all still trying to be fucking films like it's 2009. Fuck all that shit. You know how you make a film? I'll tell you, you don't play video games. If I wanted a movie, I would watch a movie. I want a video game. I want to make my own cool shit. And that's what Baldur's Gate 3 lets you do. Make your own cool shit.
Hell yeah. All right. That, you know, if Hasbro ever does change their mind on that decision and we get it on the Switch too, I'm probably going to pick it up just to see. And the way, like I said, the way you explained it and how you described it, and then just thinking about the scenarios of the guy fucking beating the fuck out of those spiders after you super kick the shit out of them, really makes me like excited to see like what I could pull off in a game like that.
It honestly was really, really funny because I was like, yeah. Then like when those spiders are dead or close to being dead, I'll go down there and fight them and then get their loot too. And then there's like this little icon of something jumping out of the pit, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I look down and I realize he only has like a fourth of his health left, but both of those fucking spiders were dead. And that motherfucker jumped out of the pit I kicked him into and just looked mad as hell. I'm like, all right, well, just might want to do that again.
Actually, you know what? I think I can actually play this on my Mac because
I was about to say, they think there might be a Mac port.
There is a Mac port. All right. Well, it's going down. I am on payday.
I will tell you, it has a little bit of a learning curve, and it does seem like almost overwhelming at first.
Yeah.
But stick with it, and you'll have your own moment where it just clicks. Courtney had one, totally different than mine. You'll have your moment where you'll come back and be like, you know, I was in the middle of trying to bargain with somebody. They weren't having it. I decided to try to intimidate them, so they got their fucking big guy to come over. I got in a fight. I whipped that guy's ass. He gave me a discount out of fear. That's when I knew this game kicked ass.
All right. Yeah, when I'm
like
done
that
with...
could very well be your story when you come back. Like I feel like when everybody plays Baldur's Gate 3 for the first time, everybody's got a story of the moment that it clicked. Because like I said, it seems like so fucking much, and it gives you direction, but it's also very open-ended and wants you to explore. And it's very, very, very good about doing the open world thing of, yeah, you can like teleport and stuff or fast travel, and you should sometimes, but usually you actually want to walk along the path because you're probably going to run across something really fucking neat.
Yeah.
It has the old school thing that people liked about, like, say, Bethesda games like Skyrim, which is, oh, here's my objective. It's like a mile away. I'm going to walk it, and on that way, I'm going to run into a pack of bandits. And then I'm going to find a traveling merchant. And, ooh, that cave over there looks pretty cool. Let's go through that cave. All right, kick ass. Now, what were we doing? Oh, yeah, we're going to go to the thing. Like, that's... I feel like a lot of open world games now, it's the open world is the main hazard that you are, like, fighting against. You know what I mean? Like, you got to find the quickest way to get around everything so you can get to the enjoyable parts of your video game. Whereas Baldur's Gate, they make sure that the open world is part of the enjoyable moments and not just a bunch of, ooh, ah, wow, that's pretty.
Yeah, like shit that doesn't matter.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, if I can play it in set pieces where I can like play like, 30, 40 minutes here and there and just kind of like how I approach the Tony Hawk games, I'm definitely
You
going to enjoy
can
that.
literally play for any length of time that you want, because when I say you can save at any point, you can literally save while someone is mid-sentence, and when you load it back up, it will be in the middle of that fucking conversation.
All right. Yep. That's a perfect fucking video game.
They fully expect you to save scum, so they've tried to make it as straightforward as possible.
Okay. Yep. That's
Which is because you there's a lot of dice rolling when it like for skill checks, and I am not above saying that, especially in my first playthrough, if it was something I really wanted, sometimes maybe not even something I really wanted, just something I was worried about the negative consequences of, you save right before you have to do the skill check, and then if you don't hit it, you just reload the save and keep doing the skill check until it works.
All right. It's like shiny hunting in Pokemon.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of. It's the scumbag way of playing the game, but fucking I don't care. If they don't buy that I'm bluffing, then like I'd have to get into a fight that I'm completely ill-equipped for. Oh, bitch, I'm just gonna try to keep bluffing until they buy it.
Exactly. That's how I mean, I would play the same exact way. So if the game lets you do it, by all means, just do the fucking thing. We're the generation of gamers that play with cheat codes in Grand Theft Auto. Like, I would definitely be a scumbag in video games. All right, let's get to these.
That's a topic that we could talk about sometime too. How cheats have gone, like, from being fun little extra Easter eggs to now cheat is a bad thing, like synonymously bad.
Yeah, or a microtransaction.
But not tonight. Not tonight.
Yeah, let's get to these number twos. Number 2 on my list. This one might surprise you guys. Number 2 is The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And the reason why I say it might surprise you guys is because if y'all know me, y'all know I'm a massive Legend of Zelda fan. One of my, if not my number 1 favorite gaming series of all time. But Tears of the Kingdom takes number 2 because number 1 is just too damn good and still lives rent-free in my head. But Tears of the Kingdom just did some things that we, like Baldur's Gate 3, you just don't really see in video games that often, and it's what makes AAA. The fact that you can pretty much just come up with an idea and create that idea and use that idea in your creations to just go fuck up an entire like area of moblins and goblins and then hordes of beasts and just see that play out. It's just so fun to do sometimes. Somebody in their Tears of the Kingdom playthrough made a KFC where they would take the cuckoos or the Cuscos, or not Cuscos, the Cocos, or whatever the chickens are called. They put them on this conveyor belt and then it roasted the chicken when it got inside the box, and on the other side of it came out the cooked chicken meat that you get in the Legend of Zelda games. So what I'm trying to say is the level of creativity that you can take into this game. Of course, there's some game-breaking things like Ultra Hand, I think was a little bit too powerful at times, but it still added to a lot of the fun, being able to ascend pretty much through anything, going into the deep depths of this wild era of Legend of Zelda, and then just seeing how they evolved the story from the Sheikah technology to the Zonai technology, and how those things just came to be. And then of course that you guys beat the game, right? I'm about to spoil the fucking ending. Like, if you don't want this ending spoiled, in the video right here, come back in about a minute or 2 minutes, because that last fight with Ganon or Ganondorf, mind-blowing. One of my favorite boss fights in a video game. Doesn't have the music that Sonic Frontiers has, but has the gameplay of if you took The Legend of Zelda and made it almost a Souls-like, because the last fight was challenging, and then the second act of that fight, I guess it'd be the third act, because it starts off as normal Ganondorf and then goes into the Sacred Stone powered up Ganondorf, where he looks more like Demise from Skyward Sword, and then you fight him after he eats the Sacred Stone and becomes the fucking dragon in the sky. And Zelda in her Sacred Stone is helping you fight him. Oh my gosh. Like, that was one of the grandest video game moments I think I've had in my entire adult life, if not adult and childhood life. And then to jump from the sky and to, Zelda goes back into being Zelda, and to save her in that moment, and to really end the wild era right there. Magnificent. Greatest game of all time. Magnificent. So Tears of the Kingdom makes it to number 2 on my list, just for those moments right there. Didn't have the impact that Breath of the Wild had, because I think Breath of the Wild, when it came out and just did so many things so differently for the Zelda franchise, is really why that game stands out above Tears of the Kingdom in a lot of ways. But I do think Tears of the Kingdom is the better out of the 2 games. And then if you just, want that extra story with Ganondorf, and Matthew Mercer, his voice is Ganon, sexy, baby. I fucking love it. Bring him back. If he's going to be Ganondorf in another game, he's Ganondorf for all of eternity at this point. Bring him back. Nobody else can play Ganondorf now. That's number 2.
I don't want to say too much about your number 2, because I got a thing to say about it myself later. So right. I'll hold my thoughts.
All right.
It's on the list.
I thought it might be there. Hadn't heard from it yet, so all right. We'll wait on Zach's thoughts. All right, Mr. Brett. We're ready for you.
Okay. I've heard the name Matt Mercer before, and I was looking up his IMDb credits here. I guess I know.
He's been in a lot.
He's Leon in Resident Evil 6, but I didn't play that one.
That sucks. Yeah, I was gonna say it's all right. I think it's worth. It's worth it's been on sale for $5 or $10. It's definitely worth that price.
Yeah. Okay. I'll have to look up his credits a little bit later, but the name was very familiar. It was ringing a bell. My number 2 pick is gotta go out to a game that I honestly I had no idea was going to be a game that I enjoyed as much as I did. I truly thought maybe it would be a fun little couple-hour playthrough and just be like, oh, it was another fun little thing. But honestly, I adore the hell out of this game. The art direction, the There is a little bit of a story. It's it definitely helps to move the gameplay along, but it's not super pivotal. But the gameplay itself, the mechanics, and just the feel of this thing are fucking incredible. And I haven't experienced this kind of vibe for the skateboarding genre since Tony Hawk. I enjoy the skate games, but I haven't really latched onto them quite as much. But for me, Ollie Ollie World has to be number 2. Yeah, it's such a good. The system is just such an awesome. It feels good. Like there's no other way to explain it other than it feels so good and so gratifying to learn the mechanics, piece them all together, and then by the it's not even by the end of the game. Like you truly like get the grip of it by like the second world. You have pretty much all the mechanics down. You still learn a couple nuanced things in a couple later levels, but by that point, once you get like the grinding and the wall riding, especially, like once you get that system in and you're just locked, man, it is smooth. It's insanely responsive, and it looks cool too. Like visually, you just you get lost in it sometimes. And I love the scope of it. Like it feels massive, even though it like. Let me put it this way: it feels expansive while being kind of like tiny at the same time. Like everything, your character feels tiny. All the stuff because of just that kind of like Adventure Time type art style it's got going. It feels like cute and tiny and adorable and all this stuff, but like there are those moments when you're doing like a huge like canyon jump and wall riding like these huge billboards and stuff in between, and you get that sense of expansiveness, and it's just fucking gorgeous. It's so awesome. I can't say anything more about it. If I could do a tie number 1, it would definitely be up there, but I gave it a number 2 just very slightly. I think the only reason I give it a number 2 behind my number 1 is because my number 1 has a very expansive story and commanded my time in a slightly different way. But this one, I did get lost in it. Like it is, and I love the fact that you can just kind of pick it up and go whenever. Similar to how I am with Tony Hawk. Like those games are just so second nature for me. Ollie Ollie kind of got there too. It took a little bit for sure, but I think it truly feels like, and Zach, you can kind of attest to this too as somebody who's played it. It definitely feels like a cool combination of like momentum-based 2D platformer like Sonic the Hedgehog. Yes, the Tony Hawk games, but also the skate games and the way they use the sticks to actually be your tricks and different controls. I think that's probably the best way to summarize that.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's gotta feel nice especially those stick controls. I feel like, for me personally, those stick controls that's what makes skate, and that's why I like skate. But if you get that in a 2D game as well, I bet that feels fucking phenomenal.
Oh, it's so good. When you get that grind down by pushing your stick in whatever direction you're going to do, and you hit that bop right on the perfect, and then you fucking get through and the whole thing goes on the ramp and comes up and launches you, and you just do like your little couple of tricks in there, then smack and like hook back onto your grind rail. Oh my God, dude. Yeah, that game, amazing. The only thing that I would add to it that I think is really unique about that game is the fucking like the Ollie Ollie world is like such a fucking throwback to the Super Mario world of like the way you pick levels and like traverse around and have your courses and sections to go through. Damn, man. Yeah, that's a good second pick. That game, I still play that like all the time. Ever since you recommended it to me, I have been just like picking it up for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, like every single fucking week for like the last like 6 months. Like, dude, it just rules. It's always got a little bit more to give, and that like grind of like, I'm gonna learn this fucking track like really well and just get those fucking maneuvers down. It's A+. That is a perfect video game.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that you mentioned the overworld, like Super Mario World kind of vibe. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, I 100% agree. And I love the replayability. I mean, I know it's just challenges, but because of how that game is designed, like it is made for those kind of challenges. Like that is exactly like it's speedrunners, it's technique mastering, it's time attacks, it's ghost races, like it's built for all of that, which is really fucking cool. Like you can't even get that in Tony Hawk replayability, honestly. Like those games, as much as I love them, like you can do the same 2-minute runtime challenge X number of times and you kind of get it gets a little stale. Like by that point you might as well just play it, go back through and go through all the levels again or whatever. But this, like, you can play the same level over and over again, but with a different, goal that you got to hit each time. And it just like makes you, it wants to make you get better, and you want to get better as a result.
And you know what we didn't even mention? The fucking random level generator that's built into it that will just build you a course.
Oh, yeah.
Just, like, go, hey, you beat all the content. Why don't we just like ask you what world was your favorite? And we'll just make a bunch of mechanics good around that world that you played, and you can just try that for forever. And it just never ends. Like, I haven't even gotten to the point where I utilized that thing once or like enough. I played it a couple of times. I was like, dude, I could get sucked into this part for forever. I have to beat the main game first, and then I'll come back to this. But that game truly just keeps giving. Like, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. I know. Like, I keep looking at it. Like, it's still in my wish list. Like,
do it.
The more y'all talk about it, I got so many games in my pre-order.
You do have a lot of games.
Oh my gosh. And it's on sale right now too.
Many games.
I'm clicking this button. It's being purchased as we speak.
Yeah, we got him, ladies and gentlemen.
Back it up, boys. We got him.
There may or may not be a video out about it by next week. I'm just letting y'all know.
Goddamn right, man. Goddamn right.
All right. The Ollie Ollie World Rad Edition has been purchased. I will be playing this game at some point after it downloads. Hell yeah. All right, Zach. You're up. Number 2.
Number 2. I have done the exact same thing as JT. Number 2 is Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Hell yeah.
So I don't have that much to actually say about it because I feel like you said the majority of it. I only have like 2 things that I really want to talk about when it comes to Tears of the Kingdom, or I guess maybe 3. Like, it's hard to pick between Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom in terms of like which one is the better game, but ultimately I really think that choice just is Tears of the Kingdom because of the foundation that it builds on. Definitely didn't have the same level of impact as Breath of the Wild did, just because like Breath of the Wild's release was such a special moment, and I remember so many people getting into it who like didn't even like Legend of Zelda when they just saw Breath of the Wild and what it was capable of, and they were like, holy fuck. But Tears of the Kingdom didn't have that same level of impact. In fact, I saw a lot of criticism of people like being like, that just looks like it should have been DLC. But then you play Tears of the Kingdom and you're like, nah, that's a sequel. There's a lot going on here that totally fixes things up. So like my second thing I wanted to talk about was that stuff that it does fix of Breath of the Wild, because my biggest gripe with Breath of the Wild was you see super fucking cool thing off in the distance. You're going to spend 20, maybe 10 minutes getting to that thing, and you get there. And the reward for doing all of that is another shrine and another spirit orb, and then that's it. And then you don't really, like, your curiosity is not satisfied in your exploration. It's just like, I just got another fucking spirit orb. And then Breath of the fucking Wild does that like every single time you accomplish any puzzle. It's just another fucking spirit orb. But in Tears of the Kingdom, the entire inventory has been reworked to be incredibly fucking useful now because of the fuse mechanic. So they're just throwing shit at you all the time. It's all brand new. You never know what you're going to find. You're always satisfied for your curiosity. Every single time you step foot into the fucking fields to find something, It's different. It was completely different than the last thing. It's not even similar to the other stuff that you found 20 minutes ago. It's always useful. So it's just, that was the biggest thing, and it clearly makes it the better game just for fixing that issue alone. And the last one is spoilers, once again, for anybody that hasn't like beaten it. So if you haven't beaten the game, you're gonna have to skip ahead. I'm sure JT will put a time code somewhere.
Nope.
So
there's not gonna be time codes.
It's not even skip fucking 20 minutes in. Who cares, man? This was your warning. When you find out where the Master Sword is, and you're like, wait, it's up there, and then you check your fucking map and you see it moving, and you're like, holy fuck, that is what that is. That is one of the coolest fucking reveals ever. And then finding out how to get to that point and to pick it up and actually get it usable is just like, that was mind-blowing. Like, I really didn't think that Legend of Zelda was going to go to that level of degree, but Tears of the Kingdom, like, really manages to just continuously go like, all right, so this was a really cool set piece, that was a cool set piece, that was a cool set piece, you're involved in this one, that's another cool set piece. Like, it actually builds, and it all crescendos at this giant climatic finish like you talked about with the final boss fight. Like, the pacing of that game's main story is genuinely really good, and I think it's honestly, like, not since like Twilight Princess have I felt like I was part of an epic adventure. Like, it was grand, it felt epic, there was a huge situation, the stakes were incredibly high, and then everything is like hitting this major peak like right as it comes around. And that's what Tears of the Kingdom does, and I will never forget that moment of like actually like really figuring out what the Master Sword was and just being mind blown that Nintendo was willing to go there, and that's what the solution is. Because, like, yes. What other fucking cool location to hide that place? Like, I thought it was going to be in the depths. Like, I swear to God. And then when I realized that it's implanted in fucking Zelda's dragon head and I have to go find that thing, like, that is unbelievable. Because now they expect me to get up there somehow. And that was part of the fucking fun, too. Of, like, well, now I got to build a device to get to that thing. And it's just crazy. Like, I don't know how you top that kind of a moment in the Wild era. That is definitely the best part of both of those two games for me. So there's another game I have that was way more impactful. We'll talk about number one, but dude, I'm getting all flustered talking about it. I think my thing just went out.
So good, his screen just went out. Like,
yeah, I flipped my privacy monitor. Dude, I love that game. It deserves number two. I'll talk about number one when we all get around to it, but wow, man. Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom is definitely one of the best video games I've ever played in the last 5 years, and probably will be for like longer. I really don't know how you top that game.
Yeah, I agree with that. I want to like get on to something that you said where everybody was like, yeah, that looks like it should be DLC. We don't say this about other games that reuse assets. We only say this when it needs to stir up some sort of bullshit controversy about Nintendo games, because so many games need to reuse assets. Yakuza does a phenomenal job of doing this every sequel to sequel. So for people who are like God of War, Zelda, whatever, just looks like DLC when a sequel comes out. Just shut the fuck up. Go touch grass.
Yeah. You should want your sequels, if it's not a full like franchise reboot, to probably reuse some of its assets.
Yeah.
And like a smart way, and not like I'm just going to copy and paste and resell the game. Because look, like, these games are fucking 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10 video games. Everyone's complaining about the reuse assets thing. Like, the biggest one was, oh my God, I can't believe Kratos is getting into the boat the exact same way he did in the first game. Like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, of all things that, like, really matter, like, that's what you care about? Like, if we're reusing cutscenes and dialogue, like, yes, complain. But, like, this is not worth anybody's time. So what is this about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like, what are we doing? Like, don't look for reasons to be upset. Look for reasons to be happy, and you will live a happier life. I guarantee you that.
Amen.
But yeah, number two, another Tears of the Kingdom win. Carson, we have approached the landing spot for your number two, my friend. Go ahead and give it to the audience. He's muted.
We got Brett back.
This is Captain Pilot. I think his landing gear is down. We have to veer off and make an emergency touchdown landing in the O'Hare area.
We will take a short intermission to inform.
Oh, here it comes. Here it comes.
Hey, sorry, there's a lot of turbulence on this plane right here, so I hope that it's ready. We're coming in hot. We're coming in hot. We're coming in hot. We're coming in hot.
Like a
Incredible.
Dragon, Infinite Wealth was my most favoriteest bloated game of 2024. Here's the thing, folks. There's some people that say games should be too short or are too short. And that if your game is short, that means it's bad. Those people are what we call stupid and wrong. I love Infinite Wealth, but it's also infinite gain. There's entirely too much of it. If you're just sticking to the plot, you just want to know what happens, and you do the most bare minimum outside activities, you're looking at like an 80 to 100 hour video game. And this is also Yakuza, which means some of the best stuff that's in the fucking game is the side content. Ergo, that's the stuff you're going to want to actually engage with in the first place. But regardless, per usual, there's some stupid story shit in Yakuza. Doesn't always make sense, doesn't always make canon. Sense with the canon, I should say. But overall, the story is very interesting. It does feel like the passing of the torch, so to speak, like whatever next main entry that they do. 9 definitely needs to continue to focus on Ichiban, definitely needs to continue being a JRPG. And hopefully it will have this caliber of just everything to it. It's really cool to actually not only have a new location, but one that is completely removed from Japan whatsoever. There's a lot of fun little details that you might not notice, but your brain did, such as no matter what language you are playing in, English or Japanese as far as the dub is concerned, if you are in Japan, everyone in Japan is speaking Japanese, regardless of what your language settings are set to. But same goes for Hawaii. Everyone there is speaking English. And I bring that up because it confused a buddy of mine, because he was like, what the fuck? I have the Japanese dub on, but there's still people speaking English. And that's when I had to explain to him, yeah, bud, because when you have the English dub on, there's still people speaking Japanese when you're in Japan. Like, that's the idea, is that they're not actually speaking whatever dubbed language it is. It's all supposed to be Japanese. Like, I think these are excellent little bits of detail, and that is something that this series has always excelled at. Infinite Wealth is no exception. It is a balls-to-the-wall story that has kind of a questionable payoff towards the end in terms of if it's actually satisfying or not. Some of the stuff with Kiryu is sort of stupid. No, we don't really get what's going with his hair. But overall, if you are a Yakuza fan, this is definitely a great follow-up to Ichiban's first adventure. It's a whole lot of fun. So much new stuff to do, so much fun stuff that returns and gets expanded upon. And yeah, high recommendation to Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. One of my most favoriteest games of 2024.
Nice. Yeah, we'll get there on this side of the world one of these days. We got Kiwami 3 coming up. So we only got about 5 more games after that.
Assuming none of the side stuff comes over.
Yeah. Because what side games do they have to get to as well? I know there's the one that's set in feudal Japan, Pirate Yakuza.
Well, there's Enshin, Pirate Yakuza. There's also the game between 7 and 8.
Oh, the man who erased his name.
Yeah, the man who erased his name.
Yeah.
And that's all of the ones that have come over here, if you don't count Dead Souls. But there's also some Japanese exclusive games as well.
Yeah. So, all right, we're just gonna be playing, Yakuza basically until the end of time. Is how I'm approaching this, because I fully expect
End of time might be 2027 at this rate. So good chance.
Yeah. Hopefully we get Kiwami 4 before then, and we'll take what we get. And might just have to resort to following up on the story in YouTube videos. Because Yakuza is honestly like becoming one of my favorite series at this point, after playing 3 of them and soon to play a 4th game. I'm really looking forward to Kiwami 3. All right, are we here? Number 1?
Made it.
Number 1 on the list for me. I'm pretty sure you guys know exactly where this is going. At one point in time.
Wait. Hold on. Never mind, continue.
All right. The number 1 on the list. At one point in time, the channel was named after a certain object in this franchise. I changed it over to be more cohesive with Monday Night Mayhem, but it still lives near and dear in my heart because it's what really made me want to kick off this channel. Number 1 on the list is Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And the reason why this game makes it to number 1 is purely because of the story and because of certain moments in the story that continue to just have a place of relevance, I would say, in real times as well as just like a fantasy world that they've been able to create after almost not getting a chance to even bring Xenoblade Chronicles 1 to America. There was a certain point in time where fans really had to fight for this franchise to even appear on the Wii. That's how far back this goes. And then getting that game on the Wii, and then getting 3 more after that, because we got 2, we got X, and then we got 3. X isn't really canon to the story of the Klaus trilogy, which is 1 through 3, but there's moments where it can tie into certain things. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is the ultimate version of all 3 of these games. It takes place in the world building of 2 and 1, and it does such a phenomenal job to bring those 2 worlds together, where not only does it mindfuck the player the whole time, until you get to parts of the ending where you're like, that's how the worlds came together. This is why these 2 warring factions are torn apart. Basically, the story of the game is the world of Xenoblade Chronicles 1, the world of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, they have to reemerge because they were split apart in the events of those 2 games to become their own separate worlds. And when they reemerge, either 1 or 2 things are going to happen. It's going to be peacefully, it's going to happen peacefully, or they're going to merge together and they're going to blow each other up. And in the event of them almost blowing each other up, AI took over, and AI said, nah, I'm just gonna freeze everything in one point in time, and all y'all's fucking kids now can only live 10 years, and when they're born they start out as 10-year-olds, and then they go up to basically being 20-year-olds, and either they have to give their life in war because that's all they are growing to know, or they give their life back to the earth and we never see them again. So it really tells the story of, they always say like kids can recall past memories from previous lifetimes. And it tells the story of an Ouroboros so perfectly, that it really like makes you think like, wow, like there's moments in my life where I could like recall like deja vu moments basically. Like I've been here before, I've seen this exact thing, and the game does that, and psychologically it will mind fuck you the entire time. And then you get to the DLC, Future Redeem, and it really closes out the whole trilogy because it brings back characters from one like Shulk, from two like Rex, and puts them into this world where they have to interact with their kids, who their kids now have no memory of them because AI froze this world in this bubble for a million years basically, and wiped all these kids' memories of anything that they've known up until the age of, you know, when they were 10, and basically only taught them war, and that they had to continue to fight, and that they were going to continue to fight until they were able to like peacefully reset the world back to where it was supposed to go. This game, like all three of those games, just are so special. And I know they get a lot of heat because of certain horniness in 2, which I'm able to like look past that and just look at the story for what it is, and look at, you know, everything that they were able to do to build these worlds up, and everything that came about as far as like the combat system and the real-time action that it was able to do, and just the memories that you create by playing these characters, and just everything that Xenoblade is today. I hope that we do get a Xenoblade 4. It seems likely that we will one day. I don't think that day is going to be anytime soon. I think that's going to be like a late console generation game for the Switch 2. But, man, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and Future Redeem, #1 on my list just for everything that I explained here. I hope that one day, if there's any lick of interest in playing 300 hours of a JRPG, and if you guys ever get the time to do so, y'all can jump in and have a great fucking time with this game. It might not have the impact on y'all that it did on me, but hey, somebody out there loves these fucking games. There's at least 3 million of us who show up every time and play Xenoblade. So, you know, hopefully that number continues to grow if they get to do Xenoblade Chronicles 4. Or bring Xenosaga back. Because also, it tied in the fucking Xenosaga trilogy as well, which was fucking crazy. So, yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, #1 on my list.
I knew it was going to be in there somewhere. I guess putting it up at the very top makes sense. And also, I'm going to be completely honest, I completely forgot that Xenoblade 3 had released within like the past 5 years. Like, I thought that was longer. So, dude, time is in a weird place. Nobody really knows when anything's happening anymore.
The entire story of Xenoblade 3 time isn't real.
None of it's real, baby. We're just stuck.
We are living in Ouroboros right now. Like, that is exactly what's fucking happening, which is why that game hit so hard. I got to speak on this scene real quick. There's one fucking scene in this game where there's basically this bad guy character who's basically Jack the Ripper. He just wants to kill fucking everything. And one of your party members, he killed her in a past life. And she sees her old dead body, and it freaks her the fuck out. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then she starts remembering all the shit. She's just like, oh, I've been here. I've seen this. I know exactly what happened. Fuck that guy. He's fucking freaky. Like, somebody should do something about him now. And she ends up being the one that fucking kills him. Like, it's so good. It's so good. All right, I'm done. Brett, take it away. Give us your #1.
No, that's cool, man. I mentioned to you that I am very much interested in that series. I did make the very quick decision. I was about to start Xenosaga, which is the first one, right?
The first one on PS2, or you were going to start Xenogears, I think.
Xenogears, thank you.
Yeah.
I was going to do Xenogears on PS1, and I pivoted to Final Fantasy VII. A decision I do not regret, but I do want to get into the Xeno series eventually. So that is on my list. I've read and seen a lot about kind of the themes and topics that it explores, they all very much interest me. So, and it's crazy how somebody was telling me the whole backstory about how like the game was, even from the first couple games, like may not have even happened.
Yeah.
I think they were like really, really and truly like a fucking shot in the dark. And the right person had faith in the development and said, let's fucking do it. So it's a crazy story. And even crazier, cool concepts and themes and gameplay that I am very much interested in. So I'm eventually we'll get there. But I had a good feeling that was going to be pretty high on your list, man.
Yeah, it's a beautiful franchise, and 3 is just so rewarding by the time you get to the end of 3, where you're just like, tears were shed. There's been a lot of laughs. There's a lot of moments of fuck this game, throwing my controller down. Maybe not throwing the controller down, but yeah, fuck this game. Like, this boss was hard as shit. But it's such a rewarding franchise overall, and I'm excited for you to eventually get to it.
Yeah, no, for sure. With that, let's do a nice little segue here from one RPG to another. This one coming to you from, I believe, the people at Square Penix. I can't not say it. Neo: The World Ends With You is a game, but when I was going to purchase it, I don't even remember what my initial search was or how I came across it. Honestly, I think I probably just stumbled across some of the art assets in like just a rabbit hole of fucking forums and just like art stuff that I was exploring at the time, and it caught my eye, and I was like, what is this game? This is fucking pretty cool. And I heard the name of it, and just like things just grabbed me, and I was like, I have no idea what this is. And apparently it's a sequel to another game, but a lot of people say you don't need to have played the original one to jump into this one, which is good, because the original one was on Nintendo DS, not easily accessible for most people. You can get it on the Switch now, but a lot of people also said that the way it was ported, because it used the touchscreen pretty significantly in the original, maybe would be a little bit of a put off. But so this game, Neo, is a sequel, and truly is a sequel. Like it does pick up from where the original left off, but it does introduce new characters. The game mechanics do build off of what was established in the original, but make it much more accessible for these modern controls and schemes. There's a lot of things that I really, really enjoyed about this game. As somebody who really enjoys like just a classic turn-based RPG, and I'm currently getting the hang of the active battle time system in Final Fantasy VII, which just fucking keeps you on your toes. So does this one, but this one in a slightly different way, where you actually get to control the attacks of each character in your party. And I think I can't remember if you can do 4 at a time. I know at least 3. It might have gone up to 4. But basically each button on your controller is set to a pin, and each pin is like a different power. So like you can hold down X as like a beam attack for your one character, and you can sporadically press Y as like a scatter shot missile for another character, and then hold down a trigger button for your third character that's like a shield or something, or like a speed boost or whatever. So you can do like all of these simultaneously. So it's like an advanced, it's not turn-based, but it's also like a step above that active turn-based system that like Final Fantasy 7 or 10-2 has, where it is still technically based on a turn. You can have all these attacks happening all at once. The enemies can be attacking you, you can be attacking the enemies, and there's like anywhere, like some boss battles have like 20 fucking enemies on the screen, so it's just an absolute onslaught. Battle system's really, really cool, something I never experienced before. The story, I think, is what really got me more than anything else. And I think, you know, Square has its reputation in its games in general, but definitely in its RPGs, and how, you know, I think, like, from somebody who's not that attuned to it, can kind of get the vibe of like, kind of like, it's kind of weeby and all that stuff. It's like very otaku and all that shit. And they do lean into that culture a lot in this game, but there's also, it's easy to get into, especially for someone who's a bit more of an outsider to it all. It's animation style and emotive style that does a good job of kind of like going beyond that, so it doesn't make you feel too alienated right off the bat. I can't think of a good example right now to reference, but the thing that really got me about this thing in terms of its storyline and story plots were, I played this game, and this game came out right after the pandemic, and I played this game right around that time too, where as much as everything felt so distant and far away and isolated, it also felt incredibly high speed and connected at the same time, because of how much more people were spending on their phones or on the internet. I mean, the entire economy was based on the internet, right? And that interaction and how we kind of became like, you know, ghosts in a way. And I really think that the very literal sense of these characters being in an afterlife kind of limbo state, where they're still in the real world and interacting with each other in this limbo state, but can also still see and sort of interact with everybody in you know, existence, the real world, or whatever plane we call it, and just kind of like the social disconnect of that. And then, you know, your level up systems was still you going to cafes and stuff, and all the accessories you like buy clothes, so like just this hyper fixation on the consumerism aspect of it, but you're still just like how much of that really matters, because you're these kids in this limbo world, basically trying to stop the world from complete erasure, you know? So it was just a lot of cool themes of what we all kind of went through during that 2020 to 2021, 22 existence and coping, that these themes really resonated with me at that time. And it really, really connected with me on that level, and I enjoyed just about every minute of the game. And there's a lot of like side quests and stuff too, so it's, you know, similar to a lot of Square's titles, where you can either just kind of brute force it and go through and play the game, and not having a walkthrough or referencing anything. I played it and kind of stumbled into a lot of those side quests just organically, which was fun. It didn't feel like they were side quests, and that's, I think, just a sign of a well balanced narrative, where, you know, sometimes you could kind of tell where it was like, yeah, this feels like a bit of a side quest, but there were a lot of side quests that felt pretty necessary to driving the narrative, which was really cool. And I can't remember if this one did it too, but I know in, like, you know, some of the other Final Fantasy titles where side quests can actually be an area where you add, you know, secret party members and stuff like that too. So they make it feel a lot more essential, even though technically it is a side quest. So or even Fire Emblem's really good at doing that too. I've always really enjoyed that aspect of those games. So yeah, Neo: The World Ends With You. That was my longest tangent on this episode, but I felt like we're talking about our number ones. It deserves it. So that one takes the cake for me.
Yeah, that's a good pick. That's a game that because I know I played a little bit of it as well, and I got about 20-ish hours into that game, and I don't know why I just didn't go back to it. I think I was just into other games at the time. But what I played of it, I really enjoyed, and it's definitely something that I need to finish out just to say that I cleared that game. Because everything that you were talking about, the battle system and how you can do all these different attacks all at once, where it was not really like an action RPG, but it had elements of it just because it's almost rhythm based in a way. And I thought that was like super cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good way to frame it, for sure.
Yeah, and then the enemies are also attacking you as well. And like you said, you don't need to play the first game to get into this one. But if you have the knowledge of the first game, and I think it makes the second game that much more enjoyable from the little bits of it that I played. But it is a new cast of characters, and the characters are all pretty cool. But it does have that kind of like weeby edgelord vibe to it a little bit as well. But
Sure.
I do like the characters, and the art style of that game is phenomenal. And
Yeah.
hopefully they get another shot at doing a third game, because I think The World Ends With You is just one of the cooler franchises that Square does have, and that they can definitely like draw from and keep going back to. But kind of seems like they want to do more of the HD 2D games going forward, and Final Fantasy, which I don't really have a problem with that either, but I'd like to see more from The World Ends With You. I think that's a franchise that just has a lot of staying power.
Yeah.
More than fucking Kingdom Hearts, I'll say that.
No, for sure.
Destroyed.
For sure.
No, Kingdom Hearts is fine. I'm just not interested in going back to that universe at all. All right, Zach. You ready?
This is it. Yeah, we've made it to the number one slot. I think mine's probably not that surprising if people know me well enough. So for me, my number one is Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition. Specifically the Ultimate Edition, because that's the one that kind of like wrapped up all of the issues that came up with the launch and kind of brought the game together with its new DLC and the 2.0 update and just made it the giant complete package that it needs to be. Although I put way more time into Cyberpunk back when it was like in its initial stages anyways, because like I was a huge like CD Projekt Red fan thanks to The Witcher 3, and I played that game back in like 2015 all the way up in through 2018, and just loving that whole universe. And then so when they said, hey, here's our new game coming along, are you excited for this? And I was like, yes. So I was freaking out when I knew Cyberpunk was officially like coming to the world, and part of that initial group of people who were just like, here's another delay, oh fuck, they're doing it again. Oh God, people just want this to come out. Maybe you should let it bake longer. Nope, here's another delay. And that just kept going on for forever. And then eventually they did drop it. And it was a huge fucking mistake, because video games get delayed for a reason. And then the game's reputation got totally tarnished for it. And justfully so, because wow, that was like one of the worst historical launches of a video game or a product in general, like ever. It just straight up didn't work. The good thing, though, was even if the gameplay at that time period was completely broken and not worth really your time or like experiencing any of those things, what was worth experiencing even at launch was the story and the world they made. Both of those things in a vacuum were fantastic, and then once they cleaned up the gameplay and the 2.0 update came out where they rebalanced everything and added in like a whole cops and robbers system, and then plus an expansion on top of it, that game became ridiculously good. And that is my kind of video game. Now, the one thing that does kind of kill me about it, which is very true once you talk about something like Baldur's Gate 3, is Cyberpunk has a major issue with the illusion of choice, where you kind of feel like you're getting things done for a long time, but then if on multiple other playthroughs, the cracks kind of go, oh, like, I really didn't have much of a say after all. Like, that choice really just would have caused this thing to happen anyways. And in some ways, that's kind of true, and in some ways, it's kind of not. But like, when you think of the decision trees of Cyberpunk, it's kind of shaped like a big diamond, and then maybe it kind of branches off at some weirder spots towards the end of your choices. But for the most part, you don't have a ton of it. I don't think that's that much of a bad thing, though, ultimately, because I think the story that they tell and the characters that they have still work really well, despite the fact that you can't really fucking change much of it. Even though there are like 7 different endings, but the way you get to those endings is kind of sometimes, oh, I'm at the very end of the game, I have 5 options right now, and each one of those is going to give me a different situation. And like one of the DLC endings I still think about all the time because of the way that it wraps up the story. Like, it's not just an ending to the DLC, it's like a completely alternative ending to the main story completely, or in general. Like, it just ends the game. It doesn't actually wrap up that quest line. You like finish a major quest point and you're given an option that is so like crazily definitive towards all of your main goals that it just ends it. Like, it puts you towards everything completely. And I love it for that. So like, yeah, man, Cyberpunk's world is unforgettable to me. It's like going into Night City for the first time and heading over to Afterlife and like going down the stairs and past all of the bricks and getting dropped off in front of that bar and looking at the bodyguard when he tells you to fuck off and then go getting a drink anyways. It's just like, dude, it's unforgettable. Like, it's you really know that you're walking into something special, or at least that's how I felt when I first got my hands on that game. Like, nothing, it's such a fully realized and well-crafted world, and the gameplay is like just kind of a Far Cry game at the end of the day, but I love Far Cry, so I'm totally okay with the way that that pans out. And the RPG elements, like I mentioned, there's just a major illusion of choice. It's really not all that much there, but the people that you meet and interact with and the first-person perspective that you do it through the entire time, the animation quality is insane, the graphical quality is insane, and the people are incredibly well written. It all adds up to just like, it's just nuts. It's just a perfect piece of art in that aspect to me. And like, there are things that can be improved on and did get fucked up and did get improved on, but it's my number one game for a reason. I waited for CD Projekt Red to deliver on it, and I would say ultimately they did, but they did burn a bunch of people to get to that point, which is like undeniable. Like, those PlayStation 4 and Xbox One owners that were said, hey, our game is going to run on this thing, they never got their shit back. That game never ran on PlayStation 4. You had to essentially abandon any hope of Cyberpunk playing on those consoles and just get a PS5. And during the time period when that was all going down, that was COVID, and that was impossible to do. So those people might have just sworn off the game completely. But if you manage to still have your PlayStation 4 copy of Cyberpunk, you could pop it into your PlayStation 5 and get a free upgrade and experience the best form of the game. So there's at least that for you. I actually, like, for one of my roommates, he had an Xbox Series X. I just bought him the Xbox copy for like $10, and then that was what he used to play on his Series X. So that's kind of a weird, fun loophole that you can do with Cyberpunk now. But yeah, I think that game's ridiculous. I think the story choices can be wrapped up pretty dang quickly, but yeah, dude, it's just, there's too much to say about it. I want to yield my time so I can give Carson his say on the final number 1 spot, but damn, man, like, that's my number 1 game for the decade so far. That's my game of the generation so far. I hope that CD Projekt Red continues to wow me with the shit that they do, because nothing really feels like the stuff that they make. And there used to be a Bethesda game, and now CD Projekt Red makes Bethesda games, and I hope they keep doing it. Yeah, without the jank. Well, now
Yeah.
was there, but now it's not so bad. Now, honestly, like, I really don't find glitches in that game at all. They really had to go and smooth over everything after that giant controversy of the launch. And I think they did that. I think they fixed their reputation in the process.
Hell yeah. That, Switch 2 port of that game is still very impressive.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Definitely overwhelming the video game for me, which is why I've not gone back to it, because it's intimidating, and I'm a person where I don't like to admit that I get intimidated by video games a lot of times, but that was a video game that I felt like the perception of choice, like you were saying, there's a lot of choice in that game, and boy howdy, it can be fun, and it could also just be like, man, am I really making the right decision? And then for me, I'm like, I want to turn the game off and do something completely different. And I should just keep playing the fucking game. And then I just get in my head about it, and I'm like, all right, one of these days, I'll figure it out.
Yeah. And so for the base game, there is a good amount of illusion of choice in that initial base game campaign. But when you get to Phantom Liberty and you go into Dogtown and you start navigating that DLC, those choices actually fucking matter, and they start to hit really hard at a certain point. And it's all about deception and lies. It's a spy thriller DLC campaign. And so trying to figure out, did that person give me wrong intel? Did that person lie to my face and try to be nice to me because he wants me to do this for this person? Who the fuck is telling the truth? I don't know. I have 5 seconds to press X. And it's getting really hard to decide what I have to do next. Those ones are genuinely difficult. And that Phantom Liberty DLC is CD Projekt Red firing on all cylinders, is really good. So if you can get yourself to that just to experience the ending that I'm talking about, because I don't know anybody else who's played through that portion of the game, it is so worth your time.
Yeah, brother. We'll do a check-in a year from now, and we'll see if I went back to it or not.
Hell yeah.
All right, Carson. We're ready for takeoff. You're number one.
So my number one for this one is, I've continually repeated over and over again that this is not a numbered list, that it's each year over the last 10 years, my favorite game that I have done. Number one is The Exception. It would not matter if this list was what I thought it was supposed to be, which is one good game from the last 10 years, or if it was your 10 best games from the last 10 years, or if I had even done it as JT intended, which is the 10 best games of this decade so far. Number one, no matter what, would not fucking change. And I'm going to be honest with y'all, there's a good chance it fucking won't. I hope it does. I really hope that there's something even better than this. But do I think there will be? It's a tall fucking order to beat Kirby Air Riders. I truly, truly do believe, though, that of all the video games that I have played, that I have personally enjoyed, had a great time with, that's the number one. Now, if I were to have actually done this correctly, it likely still would be number one. But I do want to give a honorary shout out, despite their studio heads being very strange about AI, which does fucking piss me off, and the fact that they are apparently considered indie, even though they had an $11 million budget or something insanely high like that. They're really not an indie studio. But with all that said forward, Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is also a phenomenal game. We have talked about it before. You should absolutely check that out as well. But it's my list, and God motherfucking damn it, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, as I have said before on our Best Games of the Year episode, that is art. And I enjoy some art. But you know what I don't want to do when I come home from a long day of work? Enjoy art. I want to make art by smoking a bowl and playing a video game. Not an artsy-fartsy video game, a video game. And by motherfucking God, did Kirby show up and say, hey, I got a game. I got a hell of a fucking game for you. It's Air Ride. And I said, Kirby, I've played that before. And he went, nah, bitch, nah. You didn't let me finish. It's Air Riders. There's an R at the end. And I said, you got to be careful about throwing the hard R around, Kirby. And he said, that's not even a funny joke, you fat bitch. Now play this shit. And here's the 411, folks. This is absolutely the huge step up that you want in a sequel, especially when it has taken decades to come around. I love Kirby's Air Riders. I Love City Trial. I love that they made it bigger, badder, better. I love that they actually put the proper fucking machines in Top Ride, because nobody likes Top Ride except for me, and I love that shit. The actual arcade career mode, some people don't seem to like that. I don't know why, because it's fucking fun. There's a little more to it going on. It does require at least, I think, 2 or 3 playthroughs to fully complete. And by fully, I mean roll credits on. Fully complete, you, I think, need to beat it with every single character and also take every single path. Both of those things I have not done yet. But point being, there is a lot of content for Mr. Kirby, and it also looks like there won't be any DLC. And I will say, I understand why some people hearing, oh, no DLC, that sucks. But I want to tell you that your well-intentioned comment proves that you're a fucking idiot. This game does not need DLC. Most games don't need DLC, and recognizing that a good game with plenty of content and plenty of shit to do, and then once you've unlocked and done everything, you just keep playing and enjoying the game, which is what video games were supposed to fucking be. That is Kirby Air Riders. Here's the thing. The Switch 2, yeah, Mario Kart Tour is good. Yeah, Donkey Kong Bonanza, that's a great-ass Donkey Kong game. That's a platformer and a racer. Kirby is also a racing game, but it is not a kart racer. It's a different beast unto itself. It's simple, yet deep. Anyone can pick it up and play it, but very few are going to take the time to actually master it. And frankly, it's one worth mastering. I truly think that as far as a system seller, as a game that you cannot get on Switch 1, you can't get it anywhere else. And because it is a big enough step up from the original Kirby Air Ride, and because, goddammit, it was so fucking unexpected. I had resigned over 10 years ago that we would never get. I was in college saying we'll never get a new Kirby Air Ride. Well, by God, boys, those crazy motherfuckers did it. They delivered, and it whips ass. I hope that I play something better in these next 5 years, but at the same time, I have also made peace with the fact that the best is here, and it may all be downhill, but god damn it, it's a short trip to get right back to the top and play some fucking Kirby Air Riders. So, for me, no matter what the tier list is, if it involves the year 2005 in any capacity, as both my misinterpretation and the actual assignment does, then goddammit, Kirby Air Riders is number one. If you have a Switch 2 and you don't have Kirby Air Riders, why? If you're struggling with bills, perfectly fine reason. Hey, you had something unexpected come up with your car? It's a totally fine reason. But if you want to tell me, well, I had to get gifts for my friends and family because it was just the holiday time, I will backhand you so hard. You will have a moment that Disney will sue you for because it will look like it's right out of That So Motherfucking Raven. Get Kirby Air Riders immediately. That is what you bought the system for. You didn't know that, but your brain did. Kirby Air Riders. Fantastic game, one that's going to be in the rotation for years to come. I guarantee it. Kirby Air Riders. Not only is it my favorite game of 2025, it is also my most favorite #1 video game that has come out so far in the years of 2020 to 2025. And so far, it is my most favorite and best game on the Switch 2.
I just want to add something to that because the customization in this game is fucking fire. And the fact that you can get a hat that's a sushi roll, amazing.
Fuck
Perfect.
that sushi roll hat. I throw on a cowboy hat on Susie. I give her the black outfit. and then we ride around on the fucking Christian Kerbo mobile. It's great. Have I shown you that shit?
No.
Where it's oh, dude, there's a whole thing on YouTube called "There's Something About," where it will take like a game, right? Like there's something about Kirby Superstar, Kirby 64, and it like pokes fun at speed runs, because the idea is that like the way that the characters are going through the game is what you would do when you speed run. So like for Mario 64, he's just like warping through time and shit, and all the characters are like freaking out about it. For Kirby's, he, for whatever reason, at the end of a lot of Kirby games, you fight what is essentially a god.
Yeah.
So the joke is that Kirby is a Christian, and he always just shows them a cross and like performs an exorcism, and that kills them. So I have a whole machine in Kirby Air Riders that someone made where it's Christian Kerbo with his fucking holy Bible and everything, just smiling. And it's brilliant. In fact, let me find it real quick. I'll just fucking post a picture of it in the chat. But yeah, Kirby Air Riders. Check it out.
Yeah, I agree, like with Carson on if you should play Kirby Air Riders or not. I know me and Zach talked about it when the beta came out for it, and I was like, oh, this game fucks. This game is going to be phenomenal. And it's going to be one of those multiplayer games that, you know, is going to stand out and be in the rotation for a long time to come. And I mean, it's the one that I definitely go back to play for like 20, 30 minutes here and there just to feel something. And when I say just to feel something, I mean just to feel the sheer weight of destroying noobs online in this fucking game. Because it's a blast. And it doesn't need DLC. If it got DLC, cool, but it definitely doesn't need it. I'm pretty sure Sakurai and his team have moved on to Super Smash Brothers at this point, because we know that's got to come out at some point in time. And boy howdy, that's what we need, is more Sakurai games. If he wanted
Check
to go
the Mayhem planning real quick.
That's so good.
shit.
Little tiny ass face.
What the fuck? All right, I'm booting this game up and going into the creations because the community is wild. I've downloaded pretty much all the Pokemon mobiles that I've saw on this thing already, but that's fucking good. You got to send me the YouTube video from Out of Context now.
Oh, I'm already on it.
All right. Well, folks at home, thank you for, tuning in, watching our top 4, which will be added to the rest of the 6 that we've done of the decade. This was a lot of fun, guys. I'm, happy that we did this. We'll come back in 2030 and see what changes. If there's a game for every year, or if there's many games that came out in the last 5 years. Like I said, if we make it 2030, we can revisit this and see what our lists are looking like then.
Definitely. Dude, it's gonna be crazy by the time we get to that point. Who knows? The landslide surprises will be like plentiful. There's gonna be a lot of shit coming around.
Yeah. Hopefully the industry doesn't implode by that fucking time.
Yeah, it'd be okay.
Yeah, I'm hopeful. I think we'll get some groovy games this year, especially, and we'll see if GTA 6 makes it out in November. Anybody got any closing remarks before we wrap this thing up? Going once, going twice.
I got nothing, man. That was a good ass list. Y'all get a prize.
All right. Well, folks, remember, brush your teeth, eat your vegetables. Don't stick forks in sockets. And tell somebody you love them. Until then, this has been Monday Night Mayhem. I've been JT. That's been Zach. That's been Brett. That's been Carson. We'll see y'all next time.
Wash your ass.
That too. Peace.
Bye.